Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto. Of course, I am King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto Monday through Friday, every day around 10ish. Today is a very special pre recorded episode that we are doing with GeoCoin's developer, David Mancini. Let's give him a round of applause. What's going
Thanks
on,
for having me,
David?
King.
Hey, no, thanks for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
And you are here to, amongst other things, of course, we're going to talk about Bitcoin today, Bitcoin SV and that price and everything that's going on with Craig Wright. And of course, we're going to be going in depth with your GeoCoin project. I have a lot of questions. I can't wait. And I just want to say thanks again for being here. And if you can give us a quick intro about yourself and how you got over to GeoCoin.
Sure. I did my education as a geographer, and then I specialized in GIS, which is Geographic Information Systems. So I've been working in the industry for the past 10 years. And then, so what GIS is basically computer mapping. So I specialized in like open source web map development, programming, and automation. So then I've also combined this with my hobby of cryptocurrency. So it's that's kind of how GeoCoin is my project.
Nice. So, how long did it take you to create it?
So the project was launched actually almost 5 years ago tomorrow on January 19th. The original developer was a developer named Tobler, so I helped him launch the proof of work blockchain using the qubit programming or mining algorithm. So back in 2015, we got the original geocaching interface developed. So it's basically taking the concept of geocaching, which is running around with GPS devices and trying to find little hidden packages and containers with little prizes and stuff inside. So it's taking that kind of concept and applying it to crypto. So we have an interface where people can drag and drop geocoins right onto the map for other people to collect. So it creates this kind of like a fun blockchain gaming user experience that's like a real world treasure hunt
Right.
rewarding.
It was. I saw it was being related to like the Pokemon Go, that immersive, almost like VR 3D experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's been a new wave of games where it's using the real world as kind of the game board itself. Pokemon Go is probably the most popular in that space. But luckily for us, or one interesting thing is we actually started our project prior to the launch of Pokemon Go. So it was great to see once that went live because a lot of people caught on to it.
And so Tobler, he's no longer a part of the project, or what's going on with that?
Tobler is still part of the project. He contributes on different projects from time to time. And I've taken over as the lead developer. So I'm building more of the front end and going to user conferences and doing podcasts and things like this.
And it's funny you just mentioned the user conferences and doing podcasts and things like this. I was just about to say I will, give you all a definite hand clap that you are engaged with your community. I saw, in the Bitcoin Talk Forum post going back from 2015 has been pretty consistent with answering questions, going back and forth. I know how those waters, navigating those waters on the Bitcoin Talk forums are, as far as it's not always pleasant. This is where the developers and people who are interested in the project actually go to ask the real questions. So it was good to see that you all have been active since the launch of your project for sure.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, we try to stay in touch and answer any community questions that people may have and that kind of thing.
So the way I understand the way your project works is, as you said, you're using the real world almost as the playing field, I guess. So you
Mm-hmm.
can earn geocoins or you can get geocoins by using your GPS on your phone. How does this work? Like to the average person, how do you explain this?
So we've coined the term proof of location. So basically, how it works is you sign up for our website, geocoin.cash. If you let us know your username, we can add you in as beta testers right now, which will let you give it a test to try to collect some geo off the map. But essentially, you log in, you turn on your smartphone GPS, you navigate to the nearest location of a geo on the map, and when you get within a few meters or a few feet of the coin, it'll actually pick it up right off the map.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's done automatically. You don't need to do anything else besides it.
It's just based on your location. Once your location is close enough, you will earn it off the map.
So, is this just for people like me living in LA or major cities around the world, or is the guy in Iowa has the same chance to get as many GeoCoins as me?
The interface allows people to drop GeoCoins anywhere in the world. There's no restrictions on where things can be dropped. In terms of how we drop the GeoCoins for people to mine, like the remaining supply that we're trying to continue to add to our circulating supply, we've developed some GIS and automation in order to help us drop the coins. One of my biggest concerns was having people looking at their phones when they're near roadways. And that creates like an element of risk and danger where people could be, hit by a vehicle or something like that. So in order to get away from risky areas, we've created this process where people can kind of pan and zoom into their local area, click a button that says drop geo. It places a little magnet on the map, and then that magnet will try to attract geo to nearby green spaces such as parks, where hopefully it's a bit safer for people to be looking at their mobile device and exploring.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, to answer your question, anybody could drop one of these magnets anywhere they like on the world, and then the automation will try to drop some coins in nearby green spaces.
And with that mapping, you're using the Google Maps interface, correct?
Actually, that's incorrect. We're using a competitor product by a group called Mapbox.
Okay.
And Mapbox is actually driven off of OpenStreetMap data, which is like a free and open version of similar to Google Maps. But we've been very happy with the Mapbox framework because it provides a lot of different functionality and tools.
So it's like open source?
It is open source, yes. The Mapbox framework is open source. Our geocaching code is closed source, though.
Okay, now that makes a lot of sense because, of course, with the Google Maps question, if that were true, the question I was going to ask in general is about, of course, customer data or people's data, location data. Like, where does this go? How is it being controlled? Is it being sold? Some of those questions.
So we just store people's GPS locations, so lat-long coordinates, and then those are referenced against all of the existing GeoCoins that are dropped. And then, as I was saying, when you get within a few meters or a few feet of the coin, it'll go through the process to actually earn that cryptocurrency and pick it up off the map, essentially.
Right, but the stored location points or longitude points. What do you all do with that as far as that information? Does that get processed through any part of the company you have, or is that information stored?
We do store just the lat-long locations of the different coins and of the different users, and then we use the user information just to detect, to do more of a GIS analysis on if people are trying to spoof their GPS,
okay,
or if people are trying to cheat, essentially, because with any game, people will try to cheat,
right?
And for our game, the reward is cryptocurrency, so people try to cheat even harder.
So right, and that was kind of my point. So I figured there would be a collection of data, at least for the testing purposes, or like you said, to make sure people aren't spoofing it. So I guess even as a consumer, I would say, all right. So once you get all that information, what's going to happen when a Google comes around and say, hey, we would love to have these endpoints from you, so we can start to utilize it for something we want to do with our maps. Like, I guess how does that work?
I personally have no plans of redistributing any of the user data that we've collected or trying to sell that in any way.
Okay.
I would like to maintain people's privacy as best as we can.
Yeah, I just know that's been a big thing that's, of course, been in the news lately with Facebook, Libra, and all that. It's always user privacy and questions. But speaking of user privacy, I actually do want to take a break and talk about This Bitcoin SV that's in the news right now, it looks like it's dropped 40%, as Craig Wright has admitted. He has no private keys, or so his lawyer is allegedly saying. It looks
Okay.
like controversial altcoin Bitcoin SV BSV has crashed 17% overnight after his main proponent failed to prove he has access to $9 billion in Bitcoin. Of course, we saw about a day or so ago, Bitcoin SV shot up after he won the climate court case, or at least it was tossed out, where he didn't owe any Bitcoin back, and it claimed for him to have had it. But now it looks like it is on a steady decline as he can't prove the keys. I mean, this is another part of the Bitcoin movie we always talk about. What are your thoughts on this?
So I haven't really followed the whole Craig Wright is Satoshi or not story too closely, but from my limited understanding, he seems to have gone through a lot of great lengths to produce documents and claims and all these types of things. And he keeps going to court, and then they say, here's the evidence. And then they say, well, this is not enough evidence, or this doesn't necessarily prove, or these documents have been falsified. So I don't really have too much trust in him as a developer or whatnot. But, the other day, when I saw the price was spiking up, I didn't really know what was driving it up.
You and I both. I covered it. I was
But
like, I have no clue how this just happened.
I was happy to see that again because
Right.
one thing about crypto that I keep telling friends and family is the price changes don't necessarily have to make sense.
Yep.
You know, people think like, oh, what if something were to double? Like a double can definitely happen in crypto. But like, what if something were to go up like 5 times or 10 times or 100 times? And I'm saying, don't rule anything out in this space because there doesn't necessarily have to be an explanation. It just has to, kind of run away with itself. So I have to say I'm not too surprised after this recent spike to see that it's now going down again because that's the nature of how these pumps and dumps kind of play out over time.
Yeah, I was just talking about pump and dumps yesterday on the show. I was like, give your coin enough time and it will be pumped. Like, if somebody will figure it out and do it. In general, I guess, what are your thoughts on the forks? BSV came from Bitcoin Cash, of course, was forked from Bitcoin after the whole Segwit 2x fiasco. So, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin SV in general as a coin?
So I think I only got it as a result of some of the fork. And I think I personally let it go when it was near the bottom of the price chart. So I don't have any ties to this fork of Bitcoin, even if it is the Satoshi's Vision version of it. I believe that the main chain for Bitcoin is the Bitcoin that the world will be using the most, and it is the most developed and the most maintained. So I haven't followed too closely with what the Bitcoin Cash network is doing themselves, but I think that chain might have a little more development happening than Satoshi's Vision does.
They have a little bit more going on. To me, the timing was interesting anyway. I mean, after the whole thing with the Segwit 2x, and then all of a sudden you want to launch Bitcoin Cash, and then all of a sudden you want to launch Bitcoin SV. So it was just like, all right, the timing, it didn't look legitimate to me. I'll just say that.
Fair enough, yeah.
But speaking of that, I guess we could just roll right over to it. The price of Bitcoin today was coming in at $8,879. It's already up, I think, about 20+% on the year. So people are very excited about that. I guess it's going to be a twofold question. What are your thoughts on the price of Bitcoin? The future of Bitcoin, future price of Bitcoin, at least in the short term. And then why GeoCoin instead of Bitcoin, or in addition to Bitcoin? Why GeoCoin? So again, two-part question, if you don't mind.
Okay, so to start off my predictions for Bitcoin, I was happy to see the 20% or so rally since the beginning of this year. We do have the halving event coming up, which, there's this big debate right now. Is it priced in? Is it not priced in?
Right.
And the way I kind of view that is, whenever these events happen, it just makes it that much harder for people to obtain new Bitcoins, once the halving event happens. And one thing not a lot of people are talking about is the hash rate. And if you actually look at the hash rate
It's crazy
chart,
right now. It's
that is
crazy.
going absolutely crazy right now. So even before the halving event, if the hash rate is going up like crazy, that itself makes it harder to obtain more Bitcoins.
I almost covered that story today. I got close to it, but I was like, we might be getting too technical. I know some of our audience like it, but some of our audience is going to say, what, hash rate? Like, wait, what else is going on? So I was like, all right, I'm going to leave this one out, but I'm glad you brought that up. Keen eye.
Yeah, so essentially, we have these two forces that are making it harder and harder to obtain future Bitcoins, right? So I view that as a positive force on price. That being said, in the short term, we might see some corrections where people take some profit because we've just gone up 20%, might bounce a little here and there. But my long-term view for Bitcoin and crypto is I think we're going to be moving upwards once again.
Nice. And then, of course, for GeoCoin relations to that.
So in terms of GeoCoin, the price is currently fairly low, but I'm pretty happy with the current developments of the project. There's a lot of different things that have been happening. Recently got support on the Abra Global app.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Which is like a mobile app, a wallet, for your phone. So people can now actually store their geos on this mobile app, which is huge news for us. And I've been talking to a few different exchanges, trying to get some additional exchange listings for GeoCoin, chatting with an exchange called VCC Exchange, which is based out of Singapore, I believe. And they have a lot of their user base in Asia, Singapore, Vietnam, China, things like that. So we'll see if we can get partnered up with that sort of exchange. And then, we're working on some more new features for the game. And simultaneously, the wallet backend is being developed from some of our partners in the Ubic community. So once we have the wallet backend fully up and running, we will actually be pushing for the full launch of GeoCoin. So I'm very excited for that as well.
I'm excited. I have, all this you just said, I have so many questions for it. So, first, I heard you just kind of mention it, but I'm not sure if you mentioned the transition at the beginning. I know you say you're on another network, but yeah, you guys are an ERC20 token on the Ubic network, or the Ubic network now. So yeah, what made you change to that network? What is your current price right now? I know, again, we don't get too involved in the price, but for people who are curious, what is your current price, and why did you move to the Ubic network?
Okay, let me just pull up the current price.
All right.
So on Bittrex exchange, we're trading at 2,217 Satoshis right now.
And you all are on Bittrex. Where else?
We're currently on Bittrex and US and Bittrex Global.
Okay.
We recently were added to Crypto Bridge about a half a year ago, but I don't know if you followed that story, but Crypto Bridge is essentially closed. Mm-hmm. So, as I said, I'm trying to get listed on additional exchanges, hopefully this BCC exchange coming up shortly.
Right. But, at the end of the day, as long as you guys are working on the project, we understand that here as well. So we understand what's more important than.
Yeah, and that's always what I've tried to focus on. A lot of different people are saying like, oh, you should spend all this money on marketing or on hype and on all this stuff. Where I'm more in the mindset, I want to focus more on development, and then once we actually are at the full launch, maybe at that stage, then we could look into more of like the outreach and the promotions side of the business.
Nice.
But I'm a development focus first for sure.
So with that development focus, again, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the ERC20 and the Ubic network part.
Okay, yes. So originally, as I mentioned earlier, we were on the Qubit mining algorithm.
Yeah, that's what it's okay.
So we were operating our own chain. We had a very small pool of miners, and then on occasion, a large miner would join the network, and then that would throw the difficulty adjustment way out of whack, so it would cause a lot of like instability issues on our chain. So one of the initial benefits that we felt right away after migrating to the Ubiq network and becoming a token was it was a much larger pool of miners, so it was a much more secure chain.
Okay.
So and then it also alleviated us from having to maintain our own blockchain, maintain our own nodes. We got the benefit of all of the community tools like block explorers and all that kind of stuff. And we've actually really gained a lot from the community, the Ubiq community itself. Various different members have helped us solve technical problems, like including getting our block parser created for the first chain. We had to create a block parser that could basically snapshot the balance of every user's wallet address so that we could then do manual claims for swaps onto the new network. So, that was a technical challenge that we were faced with, and some of the people in the Ubiq community helped us get over that challenge. So it's been a very beneficial partnership. I think they've provided me with a lot of benefit, and I'm trying to raise more awareness for their community and their chain through the GeoCoin project.
That's pretty cool. And honestly, I smiled and like gave it a hand clap when I saw the digital footprint, at least from the community point of view, from that migration. From a technical perspective, I do know migrating something to that magnitude is difficult. I'm sure. I say this as a fact. I know a lot of people who aren't into really blockchain stuff or crypto related stuff or coding stuff. They don't understand the difficulty of migrating something to that magnitude. But I saw the way you all handled it with your community. Like you said, I saw how Ubiq, their community kind of pitched in. I was looking at the Bitcoin talk. I saw the communication. I saw people getting frustrated, but you all were there answering questions while you did it. So applause for that when you all did it, because again, I know how difficult that is, and for you all to be that involved with community while you're doing it, I appreciated that. Just again from watching from the sideline.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So how many tokens are out there? Are there going to be more printed one day? Can people find them? How do they get them? How do they get their hands on them? Yeah, give us all those details about GeoCoin, how to get it, where to find it.
Okay. So there's currently about 3.1 or 3.2 million Geo in circulating supply. And we have capped the maximum supply at 4 million.
Okay.
So we have roughly about 800,000 Geo that we're planning to distribute to the community. Our plans for dropping the Geo are through this proof of location process that I mentioned before, where you drop a magnet and it finds green spaces nearby.
Right.
And then we plan to drop it at a rate of 50,000 Geo per year, roughly. So that should give us, enough Geo to be dropping for the next 10 or 15 years or more type thing. So that is the plan for increasing our circulating supply to the 4 million maximum. Mm-hmm. The two ways to get Geo, you can sign up for our website, geocoin.cash, and then, as I said, if you let me know your username, I can add you in as beta tester, and then people can run around and start collecting Geo off the map themselves. The only other way to obtain Geo would be to buy it through a market such as Bittrex with Bitcoin.
Cool. And I'm on you guys' website now. Again, that's geocoin.cash, geocoin.cash. And then we'll also put that in the comments and notes section. But if you're watching us on YouTube now, I'm going into none other than sunny Southern California right now, the most beautiful place in the great United States. But as I cue in on Los Angeles, you all can see these numbers going 6. Look like it's 6 is one area, 4. Here we go. Let's go to this Beverly Hills, West Hollywood area. And as you can see, it's a couple of GeoCoins out here. Wow. So I see you can share this coin on Facebook. It looks like it's a Facebook share, the latitude, longitude, like I said.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so as I said, basically, if you sign up and we add you as a beta tester, all you'd have to do is sign in, turn on your GPS, walk to the location on the map where it says that those 5 Geo or 6 or whatever you saw in there. And then once you got close enough, you would have those Geo.
That's pretty cool. All right,
So
so what's the vision of GeoCoin then? Again, when it relates to Bitcoin, what made you all say, hey, let's do something different. Let's do GeoCoin. What's your long term plan with it, and where do you see people going as far as why would they use GeoCoin?
okay, yeah, definitely, I can answer that. One of the big goals for GeoCoin is to bring GIS and geotechnologies to the blockchain. And one of my personal goals is to actually raise awareness of cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies. So we figured best way to do that is with a game. Get a lot of people involved. And, if you try to tell your friends or family, you got to get into crypto, you should, buy some Bitcoins or whatnot, they have to sign up with all these exchanges and, send their IDs, jump through all these hoops and whatnot. So we're trying to, remove some of these barriers of entry. Simply sign up, turn on your GPS, walk down the street, and you might have your first piece of crypto all of a sudden. So we're just trying to get a lot of onboarding of people from the community, and then hopefully it catches on, and then it just drives more mass adoption of the entire crypto space is our goal.
As far as the onboarding, I definitely like the idea of onboarding because we know that has been one of the most difficult parts of crypto right now. It's like, all right, how do we get fiat currency over to digital currency? Right now, of course, most people have to go through big exchanges or their banks, which of course is recording everything. So there's this privacy concern. So to actually onboard people just by using their GPS as currency almost, and then getting their geocoins, I mean, that is going to be crazy. I like the idea of it. What is, I guess, when's your next big benchmark? When do you plan to go, have your full, you're in beta testing right now, so when do you plan on having the full project out? And of course, I want to ask about the decentralized nature of it. So, first, I guess, when do you plan on being fully, what's the roadmap looking like, I guess, for next year or two?
So, as I said, we are working with some people from the Ubic community for the wallet backend.
Mm-hmm.
So, they will be working on that right now. I hope that it can be launched in the near future, but I don't have any set date on that yet. At the same time, I'm developing the front end. So recently we've added a bunch of new cartography styles for our map. So the most recent one was one we worked with the graphic artist's name is Tuna Chum, and we created what we call the Tunaverse. So it's got little custom icons of geocoins and diamonds and stuff like that. So we have a few more fun things like that on our roadmap. Our roadmap actually is available on our main promo site, geo.money. So you can check that out if you're interested. But some of the other features we want to add is like driving directions to the nearest geocoin, different like awards and like badges and things that people can earn for, doing little types of missions, or like you got your first geocoin, okay, there's a badge, or like you've earned 5 in a row or something, this type of thing. And then makes it a little more competitive. There's a little more like of a mission or a goal to be associated with it. We were also thinking of doing things like elemental geo. So like, maybe some geo that are like water based, or like maybe you have to get it on like a boat or on a kayak or a canoe or something. And maybe some like up in the mountains, like snow or ice themed, or like maybe a fire theme near a volcano or
Right,
something.
so something I
Like
got you,
that.
something to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, just to add more collectibles, more missions, more kind of more fun gaming aspects to the project. And the final one of the final things we would like to try to add to the game would be the ability to drop other coins. So right now we're on the Ubic network, so there's potential that we could drop some of the other ERC20 tokens on the map, and possibly even the main Ubic currency. But I'm looking forward to the future. Like, there's a lot of different projects out there that are working on like bridging technologies between chains and stuff. So I'm not sure if it can get to that level, but if there could be some bridging between Ubic and the Ethereum chain, maybe we could have access to all of those tokens, or maybe even drop Ethereum or some other tokens onto the map in the future.
Right. I like the
So,
thought of that. I get what you're saying. That sounds pretty interesting.
so I think those are the big highlights from our roadmap. But as I said, if you want to check it out, our main promo site is geo.money.
GEO.money, people. Again, I'll have all that in the notes as well. Let me make sure I make a note of it. Of course, you saw me just pull it up on the screen if you're on YouTube. So you got a chance to take a peek at that site as he was explaining it. So, of course, the business side of things. Right. So, GeoCoin. First, I guess, how is this being able to be ran? Is it our location services or something? Where's the payoff there, I guess, for you to earn your GeoCoin? Is it just, hey, just because I have this GPS, I find it? Where's the trade-off value there? And then also the decentralized nature of it. Is it fully decentralized? Do you plan on making it fully decentralized? How are you all going about both of those things?
Yeah, so I would say the GeoCoin project is fully decentralized. When we initially launched on the proof of work blockchain, we did have a small pre-mine in the initial Genesis block, but that pre-mine has still remained untouched to this date, so we still have access to it for funding future developments and
What was the
whatnot.
percentage of that? What was the percent?
I'm not sure the percentage, but it was 34,000 Geo,
Okay.
and now we've capped it at 4 million Geo total supply.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I'm not good enough at math, but
No,
it's a
no,
very
that's
small
fine.
amount.
No, you gave us an idea. People can do the math.
And as I said, it's still untouched to this day.
Okay.
So while we were on the proof of work blockchain, it was completely decentralized because it was just produced through the mining through GPUs. So that's as decentralized as it can get. Now that we are a token on the UBIC network, we're basically just dropping all of the new currency all around the world. So it's spatially decentralized in a sense. Whereas like we're dropping coins in Australia, we're dropping coins in Europe, United States, Canada.
And how are those drops determined, I guess?
As I mentioned before, we have an interface where people can pan and zoom into whatever area they want. And then there's a button that says drop geo. And then it'll place a magnet at that location. And then we use the automation to try to find nearby parks and green spaces to drop coins.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So it's pretty cool. I guess on the technical side, when it comes to dropping them, does each individual user drop them, or just you all from the project drop massive amounts in different places?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that question. So any user is able to drop magnets anywhere around the world, and then we kind of process those magnets in large batches. So we're not doing it every day type of thing, but often like once a week or once every few weeks type of thing. So depending on how many magnets build up in between the drops, some of the drops are smaller, some of the drops are larger. I think our most recent drop added about 1,500 Geo or more to the map.
Oh, wow. So okay, so that's about
they are quite large.
All right.
They are quite large.
And then are those drops also on the roadmap, or are you all just kind of giving updates on Twitter when it happens? How does that work?
As I said, it's just kind of a process where people drop these magnets and then I process them over time. So,
okay. I got you.
Sometimes people come into the UBIC community Discord and they say like, oh, I dropped a bunch of magnets, but still haven't seen any Geo. So I'll be like, oh, okay, thanks for the heads up, and then process the next wave and then go from there.
So you guys really are in the early stages and the beta stages still, which sounds really exciting to me, especially as this project now is starting to unroll. Are you looking for more beta testers for the people who are watching and listening right now? What are the messages you have for them, or what might you want from them?
Yeah, we're always definitely looking for more beta testers. If people want to get more involved with the GeoCoin project, I encourage them to join the UBIC community Discord. I can provide you the link for that as well.
For sure.
For your community. But within the UBIC community Discord, there is a Geo channel where I like to hang out and then, talk to all the community and get people set up as beta testers. But another unique opportunity is being a beta tester is you get to provide us with direct feedback. And, I've added a lot of different new features over the past year, just based on people saying, "Oh, hey, how about we put in, the direction you're facing with your GPS, like the arrow, the way you're facing." So I was like, okay, yeah, that actually seems like a helpful feature. So then we were able to add that to the game. And then, oh, what if we were to do, like satellite imagery, or to make it easier to find some of these things. So then we've added a few different cartography styles, as I mentioned, over the past year. So in not a lot of crypto projects, you have such a direct connection and potential influence on the development process. So yeah, we're happy to have as many beta testers as are available.
You actually you took the words right out of my mouth. That, like, for those listening, watching, whatever people, this is not only a great opportunity to watch a project, not necessarily from its inception, because they've been around from David 2015, correct?
Yes, we'll be 5 years on January 2019.
Right. So January 19th, there'll be 5 years. So not since its inception, but still in the beta stage, where again you can be in touch with the developer. You can actually test the processes out, the software out, and the GPS and the app, and you can go back to the community. I'm actually on the Ubic. How to pronounce it? Ubic. Ubic. I always get it wrong.
I pronounce it Ubic.
Yeah. Okay. Ubic. I'm on the Ubic Discord. I just joined the other day. Like they said, the Geo community is big on there. Of course, the Ubic Discord is big. And here you have David again. You have them at your fingertips while you still can. Again, not to talk too much about prices, but I know some people do watch us to get an idea of different pricing and what coins are going to do and stuff. But when we used to do the segment Best Altcoins We Buy, these were the type of coins we covered and we talked about what we looked for as consultants when we did cryptocurrency consulting, or Bitcoin Zay is still going strong with that. But we said the team is just as important as anything else. The developer is just as important. What's their track record? How in tune are they with their own project? Can you get in touch with them? Again, I've been seeing Bitcoin Talk forum comments from their team from 2015 and now talking about the entire process the whole way. So at the very least, I know I'm investing in a project. If I were to invest, whether it's time, energy, or resources, you're investing in a project where you have people who care about it, and you can actually see how they're working on it and get in touch with them with your thoughts about maybe where the project should go. So these are the things you actually look at, not just the price and where the price is at now and where it could go. You look at the foundation of it. So, David, I'm definitely excited to see how passionate you are about it and the foundation you all have built. And I can't wait to try it out myself. So it definitely looks pretty cool.
Well, great. I'd be happy to get you set up for sure.
Yes. And did you have any final comments for those out there watching and listening? Again, they can find you at geocoin.cash, geo.money, or the Ubic Discord, and they're under Geo there as well. Yeah, David, what's your guys' Twitter and all that other good information?
Yeah, I was going to say the other social media that we use is Twitter. So our name is geo_coin on that platform. We also do have a little bit on Facebook. There's a GeoCoin Cash page on Facebook. And we also post onto the Ubic Reddit every once in a while and things like that. People can follow us on Blockfolio Signals, as well as Delta Direct. So depending on which apps you guys like to use, those are a few different apps that you can get our messages as well. But yeah, the main social media is Twitter, and if you actually want to get involved in the community and the discussion, that's the Ubic Community Discord.
There you go, people. Again, I take your project and like opportunities like this for those out there listening, especially the newbies into crypto. This is an easy, relaxed way to learn more about it where you don't have a ton of responsibility. You're not going to start programming, right? You can just ask questions. So again, people, it's a chance for you to learn about crypto. And it's a chance, it sounds like, to start collecting crypto or onboarding without having to actually use fiat money. So again, pretty exciting project. I know our crypto warriors are also going to do a deep dive on it. So I'll make sure if they send any questions our way, we refer them to you, David, or we get you back on here for some updates. Anything you want to leave everyone with?
Let's see what happens with Bitcoin.
It looks like the wild ride has started again, huh?
Yeah, I'm excited to see that 2020 should be an exciting year.
Oh my goodness, it's happening. I feel like we need this Bitcoin movie already by now. I mean, so much has happened. in the last 2 or 3 years. Actually, last quick question for you because this might affect you as well.
Sure.
Your comments on regulations right now, the regulatory environment in the space. What do you think? Is this good, bad? Where do you think it might go? Do we need more? What are your thoughts?
I'm not against regulation. I think regulation can add a lot more legitimacy to the industry. There has been a lot of different exchanges that are closing in the face of regulations and whatnot. Um, we've actually been very happy that we've been with Bittrex Exchange for so long because they actually do a lot of scrutiny in terms of like the legal reviews and reviewing things in terms of U.S. securities law. So and they've also specialized a lot on security and stuff. So Bittrex has definitely been very good for us. But yeah, I think regulation is good as long as it's not going to block innovation. So I hope groups like the SEC can make reasonable outlines for companies to continue to work and maintain exchanges and whatnot. And then yeah, as I said before, hopefully we can just see a lot more mass adoption of the whole crypto space.
Yeah. I will agree with you that Bittrex has a pipe swinging, home run hitting legal team for sure. So yeah, they definitely do a thorough check on who they're allowing on their platform. So glad to see you all made it through there. All right, well, David, thanks again for having us, folks. This is David Mancini, developer over at GeoCoin. Again, we have those websites for you: geocoin.cash, geo.money, the Ubic Discord, and we'll be putting all the other links to the Twitters and the Facebooks in the comments, or excuse me, in the notes section after the video. And yeah, go ahead and leave some comments that you might have about GeoCoin. What other questions you have? What are your comments? Let us know so we can get David back on here. And don't be afraid to sign up for the GeoCoin beta testing. I mean, again, you saw me just pull up the map. I saw a few spots right around here in Los Angeles that I'm going to eventually have to go check out. So do the same in your city. Let's see, are these coins being dropped everywhere, and how we can help the direction of the project as well. Again, David, thanks for being here. And everyone, thanks for watching. We will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news. Make sure you smash that like and share. And cheers.